Hey guys, tonight we are climbing into something a little stranger than usual. The secret history of why so many people spend a small fortune every single year scraping hair off their own bodies with a tiny blade in a slippery shower. We are talking about the Great Hairless Conspiracy, the marketing master stroke that convinced millions of perfectly normal women that the hair they were born with was a personal emergency. And at the center of it all sits a razor company that ran out of men to sell razors, too, and went looking for a brand new problem to invent. And a sincere thank you to whoever dropped this topic into the comments. These little suggestions of yours genuinely shaped the channel, and I am grateful for every single one. Let me know down below where you are tuning in from and what time it is for you. It is always fascinating to see who is joining us from around the world, somehow ways at some faintly ungodly hour. Oh, and we are now live on Spotify too. So if you would rather drift off without a screen glowing in your face, the link is waiting in the description. Now, dim the lights. Switch on a fan for that soft background hum. Get comfortable, and let us ease into time's journey together. Let us pause for a second. Have you ever wondered who first decided that a woman's leg hair was a scandal? Was it one villain, or an entire committee in a smoky boardroom? Did your great-great-grandmother shave? Or did she simply nod and think nothing of it? When exactly did armpits become controversial? And how did a grooming habit that barely existed before your grandmother's time somehow curdle into a thing women now get judged for skipping? Hold on to those questions, because tonight we go hunting for the answers. Congratulations! You have just woken up in 1915, in a tidy American parlor, wearing a brand new sleeveless summer dress, feeling rather pleased with yourself, and someone is about to convince you that your own body is a problem that urgently needs solving. Sleep tight. Let us begin somewhere peaceful, a world where nobody was checking your armpits. Picture yourself as a woman in the 1800s, going about your entire life with every scrap of hair you were born with, completely untroubled, because frankly nobody could see it and nobody had been told to care. Your legs lived under skirts that brushed the floor. Your arms hid inside long sleeves in July. The idea that body hair was something to be ashamed of would have struck you as bizarre, possibly the rambling of someone who had had too much sherry. There was no razor in your wash basin, no shame in your mirror, and certainly no advertisement whispering that you were doing womanhood wrong. Let that sink in for a moment, because it is genuinely hard for a modern brain to hold. You wake up, you dress in roughly 400 layers of fabric, and at no point in your morning does a single thought about smoothness cross your mind. Here is no pink disposable razor balanced on the edge of the tub. Here is no half-empty can of shaving foam quietly judging you. Here is no faint dread about whether you got everything. You are, by today's standards, living in a kind of impossible paradise. And the wildest part is that you do not even know it, because you have never been taught there was anything to escape from. Your daily concerns are elsewhere, and they are plentiful. You are worried about whether the bread will rise, whether the well water will make the children sick, whether your husband's cough is the regular kind or the kind that empties a household by spring. You are managing a home without electricity, refrigeration, or a single labor-saving device that did not involve your own two hands. Body hair simply does not make the list. It would be like a medieval peasant lying awake at night fretting about their cholesterol. There are bigger wolves at the door, and most of them are literal. And here is the thing, your great-great-grandmother understood instinctively, without ever needing to articulate it. Hair was private because she was private. Her body was hers, tucked away beneath wool and linen, displayed to almost no one, and marketed to by absolutely no one. The grooming standards she did follow were about respectability you could actually see. Clean hands, neat hair on her head, a tidy collar. The parts of her hidden under 3 feet of skirt were nobody's business, least of all a stranger's, and certainly not a corporation's. The concept of a faceless company having opinions about her shins would have seemed not just rude, but completely deranged. It is a little like owning a beautifully tiled bathroom that no guest will ever enter. Why renovate? Why scrub the grout to a So savor this opening scene because it is the calm before a very strange storm right now in this quiet, candlelit world. You are free in a way that is almost unimaginable today. Free from a worry that has not been invented yet. Spending money on bread instead of blades. Living in blissful ignorance of the multi-billion-dollar industry that will one day be built on your descendants' insecurity. You do not shave. You have never shaved. And the most remarkable thing about your entire life is that this fact has never once occurred to you. Enjoy it. Inan. It was an iron rule book stitched into every hemline. A respectable woman was draped from collarbone to ankle, and the notion of exposing a bare calf in public ranked somewhere between scandalous and arrestable. So, your body hair was a private matter in the most literal sense. Private because no living soul outside your household was ever going to lay eyes on it. Let us get dressed, because getting dressed in this era is a full athletic event. You start with the underthings, then the corset, which you cinch until your internal organs file a formal complaint. Over that goes a chemise, then a petticoat. Then possibly a second petticoat for good measure. Then the dress itself, which weighs roughly the same as a small dog, and trails along the floor, collecting dust, mud, and the occasional unlucky beetle. By the time you are fully assembled, you are wearing more fabric than a modern person owns in total, and the amount of your actual skin visible to the world is approximately your face. And if you are feeling daring, your hands. In this fortress of fabric, the question of leg hair is so irrelevant. It is almost funny. Who exactly would ever see it? Your ankles are state secrets. Your knees are classified. A glimpse of bare shin was the sort of thing that ended marriages and started rumors, which meant your legs spent their entire existence in total darkness. Like creatures at the bottom of the ocean, they could have grown hair down to the floor and braided it, and society would have remained none the wiser. The arms got the same treatment. Long sleeves were standard even in summer, even when the heat was thick enough to chew. Sweating through your clothing was considered far more acceptable than bearing an arm, which tells you everything about the priorities of the age. Comfort was negotiable. The modesty was not. So your underarms, like your legs, lived in permanent seclusion, untroubled by judgment and undiscovered by advertising. Imagine an entire region of your body that has never once been criticized. To the modern woman, that is not a body part, that is a fantasy. And this was not just personal preference. It was enforced by the full weight of social expectation. Showing too much skin did not just risk a raised eyebrow. It could damage your reputation, your marriage prospects, and your standing in the only community you would ever know. So the covering was not merely fashion, it was armor against gossip, and it had the convenient side effect of making your hairiness completely, gloriously nobody's business. You were modest, and modesty came with an unexpected gift: total privacy from the opinions of the world. Here is the quiet irony though. All this covering meant the female body became deeply mysterious. Hidden, hinted at, imagined more than seen. And mystery, as any marketer will one day learn, is a powerful thing. The less people see of something, the more loaded every eventual glimpse becomes. The Victorians thought they were protecting modesty by burying the body in cloth. What they were actually doing was building enormous pressure behind a dam. For now, you are sealed away in your fabric fortress, judged by no one and sold to by no one. The curtains are drawn. The bathroom remains unrenovated. And it is, for the moment, absolutely fine.